christiangeekcentral.com.
Hold still! You lied to me!
In my face! In the face!
Put it in the peanut butter.
In my face! I thought you said this guy was a Christian. What is this?
Liberate tu te me.
Okay, I'm sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened. For some reason, it just totally disconnected. That has never happened before. I'm still waiting. There's going to be a bit of a delay, but I'm still waiting to make sure that the... Gosh, there it went again. Keep an eye on christiangeekcentral.com. If things go totally south, I might try to set up a stream through Twitch. That's really lousy. Well, I'll just kind of keep going. I know that we probably won't be able to have much conversation here, things being like it is. If it keeps cutting out like this and doesn't get better by, say, like 3 o'clock, then I might try to move the whole stream over to Twitch, and we'll see if that works at all. So is anybody watching that can hear me right now? Really not sure what the status is with the connection here. And something else that might be helpful to know is whether or not you're seeing any problems with any other YouTube. Jeez. Well, guys, I've been troubleshooting this for about the last hour and a half, got a new modem, got on the phone with tech support. I think I've done everything I can do on my end to make this thing work. Every time it cuts out, it kind of disrupts my game as well, and is just going to, and if it does it that really frequently, it's just going to mess up. I mean, I won't really be able to effectively play games and actually do the video game part of the marathon. So if it becomes problematic enough, I will probably just cut the live stream and just continue recording it and finish out my marathon, and then post the highlight videos like I usually do after editing them down. So, yeah, man, this really sucks. I wouldn't blame you at all if you just did not find this interesting to watch with the frames being as bad as they are. So I'm just going to keep going, and maybe I'll talk out loud to myself or whatever. We'll just kind of see what happens. Oh, no! Was that my version of the leap of faith? The stumble of doubt. What I like about these games, like when I'm really enjoying them, is when it's open and it's just kind of chill, parkour, running around the environment, and just appreciating the environment, the sounds and the sights. Little simple things like the footfalls crunching through the leaves. I'm not a nature-y person. Nature freaks me out. It's not safe for me. And so I enjoy nature vicariously and far away from it in video games. Vicariously is not the right word, but there's another word. You can insert that word and it'll make that better. Track a deer. Track a deer. Track a deer. Track a deer. Well, I appreciate your prayers, guys. At the end of the day, I just want what God wants, and He can bring about some really amazing things through what seem like negative circumstances. So if the stream needs to shut down, then you know, it's not going to thwart anything that God is doing. It's only going to be compatible with it. It's easier for me to see that kind of perspective when we're just talking about a video game stream. Harder for me to see that when we're talking about a really crappy, hellish day that my wife is having with her job, or, you know, more serious stuff. But sometimes I wonder if God gives us these little baby step negative experiences that we can train ourselves in having the right perspective in, so we can be a little more ready for the bigger stuff. How bad is the lag? I think at one point Francisco said the audio was still coming through fine, but it was the frames that were dropping. Is the audio still coming through and you're just basically listening to a slideshow? Or describe it to me, somebody, what it is that you're experiencing. Yes, slideshow with good audio. Oh, man. I'm so sorry, guys. Here we go. Boom! Oh, you what? Oh. You guys will just have to trust me as you're watching the slideshow that I should have hit that deer. What could I get away with now with the poor visual quality you guys are getting? What could I get away with saying about my gameplay abilities? Oh my gosh, it's a bear! It's not telling me I can make a leap of faith. Oh, because I'm not an assassin yet. I'm just some Native American dude. I'm still gonna try the leap of faith. Oh, I totally did it! So I guess just anybody can do the leap of faith. Kids at home, you too can do a leap of faith off of any high structure, provided there is something somewhat pillowy or branchy below you somewhere. You can take that to the bank. Well, I wonder if there's any hope that it'll get better as the night goes on. I mean, at least now it's not disconnecting. Like before, it was disconnecting and reconnecting altogether. So maybe there's hope. And I think I'm seeing a little bit more green on my indicator than red. So, I don't know. I don't know, guys. I'm so sorry. Oh, you said chirp chirp, baby. Because I was getting chips. Nice. I likewise tend to gravitate toward weird random humor. But I have to be careful because sometimes I can, like in college, my sense of humor was, and I talked about this, I think it's even in a video that I edited down and put up of a live stream a couple years ago. But I used to really like Andy Kaufman, who his sense of humor was really about messing with people. He was like the first troll, you know? He's like messing with people. His humor was all at the expense of other people. And that was my sense of humor in college. It was just like I just would act really, really weird just to get a reaction out of people. I would go overboard and into that territory a lot. There was a special on TV a long time ago. I used to have it like recorded on tape. I don't even know if you can buy it like on DVD or Blu-ray. But it was a special on Andy Kaufman. This was after he'd passed away, long after he'd passed away. And it was before Jim Carrey made the movie about Andy Kaufman. And it just showed a lot of like his most notorious bits that he'd done on Saturday Night Live or called Fridays or something. I can't remember. He was on a show with the guy who played Kramer. Was on the show with him too, and it was a sketch comedy show. And he would just sabotage sketches in a live show. He would sabotage the sketch, not just break character like they do in SNL because they can't hold it together like professionals. Man, he was a wild card. I wonder how low my voice is gonna get over the course of the night. I wonder when I'll start getting Batman voice. That's when I can tell that the fatigue is starting to set in. When I start feeling ready for a Batman audition. Oh, it's all lag crazy again. Jeez. Let's see here. Carter Games says, Pater, could you give me a quick opinion about murder and gore in video games? I know you have a video about it. Any chance on a quick opinion? Well, I mean, I could give you the quick opinion. I just kind of hesitate because I just like to choose my words carefully and treat the subjects with the weight they deserve. And so, but as long as you can accept and understand that I'm not giving it the treatment that I would want to give it, then sure. I mean, I can give you a quick opinion, and the quick opinion is going to be the same opinion that I have on a lot of content-related issues, whether it's content with dark themes, you know, like a movie about people who worship the devil or something, or I think sexualized content is arguably different because there's just more clear data on what the effects of pornography on a man than there is data on especially long-term effects of pornography on a man, compared to data on long-term effects of like taking in violent content. It's night and day. There's so much more data that is so much more indicative of a major problem when it comes to sexualized content. So that would be an area that I would treat sexualized content different from other content. But that's not to say that for some people, you can't put people in a box in terms of what they're sensitive to and what's going to be bad for them and stuff. So what it all comes down to is, how is it affecting your ability to love God, to serve the purpose that He's revealed is your purpose in Scripture? How is it affecting your ability to love others? And sometimes you have to sit and think about that and really analyze yourself and figure out, okay, how is this affecting me? I'll give you an example. One thing that I notice is if I spend more time, even like watching a PG-13 type of experience, but that has women wearing clothing that is just designed to enhance their figure and draw attention to their figure and their sexuality and stuff like that, I can find myself getting into a mindset of entitlement. And I can start thinking of my wife in terms of what can she do for me and how can she please me. To be frank, sexually is what I mean. And so that's where I've noticed, okay, I need to really guard against that, because I'm just going to start taking an attitude of entitlement into my relationship with my wife. That's what I've noticed this kind of content when I'm in it for a while. I gotta be careful about where my eyes go with a movie like Suicide Squad, because they got what's-her-face in the fishnet stockings, and the camera will frequently put her just off center or put her posterior just off center. They're just doing things with filmmaking that are subtle, but it still has an effect. And so for like gore or violence or something like that, you can ask yourself the same kinds of questions. Is like one question I would say. So you wanted a quick answer, and I don't do those very well. Let's say you're playing a PvP video game, like a first-person shooter, and your motive to play is because you're really competitive. And, maybe you analyze that, maybe a person analyzed that and they say, why do I want to get, what do I get out of beating this other person? Is it a sense of dominance, or, oh crap, come on, that was a super bear. They're supposed to go down in one hit. They must have modified that bear somehow. But yeah, just like asking yourselves, what am I getting out of the experience? Really taking a hard look at what am I getting out of the experience, or what is it potentially encouraging in me? Is it facilitating or feeding on my anger toward other people in my life? Do I go to video games to just think about how angry I am with my boss or my parents or whatever? Where does my mind go? Does my mind go to thoughts of violence against other people that are ticking me off? I think it comes down to a lot of introspection and just figuring yourself out. And what's tough about that is the reality of that means that if we want to, we can throw up a freaking smoke screen and just say, hey, don't judge me. I'm the only one that can determine if this is harmful or not. Well, to a great degree, yeah, that's true, And we can sure put up a smoke screen like that, But that's not going to result in any of the rewards that wait for those who that wait in proportion for those who choose to do life His way. So yeah, the quick answer, if I could boil it down as much as possible, is it depends on how it affects your ability to live out the purpose God has for you, which is to love Him with every fiber of your being and love everyone else the way you want to be loved, the way you love yourself. What effect is it having on that? And sometimes, it's not an immediate, you can't immediately draw that line from like this is leading to this. Sometimes you have to chase down the connecting points a little bit. That's certainly what I found. Man, I can't see what you guys are seeing, so I can't see what my frozen face was. I don't record what YouTube puts out. I record and keep only what I'm recording and keeping locally. Oh man, so I was totally off then, huh guys? Alright. No, I wasn't that deep and profound. It's just me trying to formulate thoughts verbally. It's good that it's over. I'll maybe edit it down sometime in the future. But of course you wanted the quick answer right now, Cotter, so... and I've already got a video on that one, so... maybe it's just not meant to be that I share my quick answer with you on that. Quick answer. Red, things are bad color in my stream health indicator, but I don't know. I don't know, guys. Okay, I'm giving this until 7 o'clock. Oh, this is weird. How do you control this boat? Alright, let me pause this. Alright, at this point in the stream, I've really been handed kind of a curveball that I didn't think it would come to. The stream looked like it was getting healthier for a little while, and then it really just kind of gave out. And was not showing any signs of getting any better. And we were really getting to the point where, like, the most popular viewing parts of the day, the heaviest viewership of the day, was going to be passed anyway, very soon. And so I decided to actually just cut the stream and record what is left now of my marathon completely offline, but still edit it down later on to put up as videos as I do with my streams normally. So it's a bummer. I'm bummed for those who gave it a good try. Thank you if you're among those people who stopped by and gave it a good try. I appreciate your patience, especially those that were in the chat talking to me and making the best of it. It was really cool to connect with you guys. What I'm curious about now as I move forward into my marathon is, what is this going to be when I don't have anyone watching me? When I know that I can edit this down later on. I suspect that in the later, I could be wrong, but I suspect that in the later hours of the night, I will be less filtered. And so I might get a little more bonkers as a result. Just knowing that I can edit out anything crazy like ripping my shirt off and doing some crazy dance or whatever I might do to try and keep myself awake. But it'll just be interesting to see what the dynamic is. Even as I shut down the stream and came back, I suddenly was like, do I really want to play Assassin's Creed Origins right now? Because part of the reason I put this game in is because someone earlier had requested it, and I thought other people might be interested in seeing it. It's kind of one of the hot new games. But as I turned off the stream and no longer felt any responsibility to kind of cater to anyone else's interests, and realizing, oh, I'm just doing what I want to do now, it's just going to be interesting to see when I'm not playing games for the purposes of programming anymore. I'm just really playing exactly what I want to play for basically the second half of this marathon. Now it's the crappier half, but still, it's just weird. This is unknown territory. So, but here I go. I still have the timer embedded so that we can still keep track of the time here, and we'll just see how the rest of the night goes. I'll maybe do a little more of this and then jump into something else. Excuse me. Why did I say excuse me? There's nobody here. I can edit that out later if I want to. Hey guys, so you may be wondering, where is the Christian Geek Central Extra Life live stream that I was gonna watch? Well, I've spent, it started out great, and then somewhere in the afternoon, technical difficulties started mounting, stream issues, lag, the stream was cutting off over and over and over again and having to reconnect. After troubleshooting for an hour and a half, buying a new modem, scrambling to try and make it work, I learned that there are basically some outages going on around my home that I basically have no control over right now. So I'm disappointed, I'm bummed out, but I'm open to what God wants to do through all of this. In the meantime, I am going to continue recording my marathon through the rest of the night without the distraction of trying to troubleshoot the live stream anymore, and I will, as always, edit that footage down and release as YouTube videos in the future. So I want to thank all those of you who came by and with great grace and patience endured the slideshow presentation that you were met with instead of the live stream that you intended to watch. Thank you so much for giving it a try and giving it your best and supporting me. I'm so thrilled with how the fundraising went for Extra Life. And anyway, thank you so much, and we'll hopefully get this all sorted out in time for the next live stream, which will probably be sometime in February. In the meantime, thanks again for coming by. Sorry to disappoint, and I hope to connect with you again soon. Thanks. Bye-bye. Here's what's weird about, just this dynamic that I'm going to be exploring here. I've never done Extra Life in complete solitude like this before. I have someone coming to sit with me for the very last hour, but I'm not going to have anybody sitting with me until then, and I won't even have the knowledge that I'm live on the internet potentially being watched by who knows who, which can kind of, keep me on a little bit and, on my feet and awake a little bit. So it actually might be, despite having a great night of rest, harder to stay awake in the last 6 hours of this marathon than it's ever been before. I don't know. I'm wondering if I'll go quiet now for a while, knowing I don't have to talk or entertain anybody or anything like that. And then get a little more verbal later at night in the kooky hours when I'm trying to keep myself awake without anyone else's help. Alright, well, let's, here in solitude, give another roll to the +2 page of many topics. Let's see, I already did 5. No, let's not. Let's not do +2 page. You're not making content for anybody right now, Pater. You don't need to make content. You have so many streams. You're gonna have more gaming content than you know what to do with, so just play games, dude.